Yo dog, Kenny Boucher here, Next Level Painting, hitting you up on the literal best of all days on this beautiful Friday morning in sunny California. We got another painting tutorial for you. Today, we are going to be doing a power sword. We've done a few power swords kind of mixed in to the beats of our painting tutorials for the last year. I'm doing another dedicated one though. I haven't done a dedicated one since way back in the beginning of our channel's inception. We've come a long way to say the least. So today we're going to work on a power sword. I'm going to show you all the ancient Chinese techniques to laying down the effects using the masking tape, using the airbrush. So it's going to be 3 simple tricks, the top 3 tricks as it were, to painting a power weapon effect and doing the iconic crossfade effect that you may have seen online that other people do and you wondered how to do that. And that is simply where, you know, it gradiates on one side of the blade this direction and then back the other direction on the other side. It's one of the simplest techniques to do. There's many variations of this technique. I'm going to show you how to do it real quick. Real quick, I want to talk about Patreon. Patreon.com is my personal crowdfunding page, and I want to shout out a few clutch patrons who've come in super hot this week. We got Lucas. We got my boy J Troop coming back in hot. Dwayne. We got Rostalov. Paul. We also got my boy Parker Gray. Man, thank you guys for coming in hot. The money helps me smooth out this entire process, helps me keep making these tutorials every week. Also, we're now on Twitch. Don't forget that we do a live Twitch stream every Tuesday. That's 9 p.m. Eastern, 6 p.m. Pacific. You're going to want to check that out. We're painting the Orc Army live on stream week by week. Anyway, guys, let's jump right into this tutorial. Let's do this thing. Top 3 tricks to painting power weapon effects. Obviously, we're going to use some tape. And obviously, we're going to use an airbrush. These ones are real simple. Here's one that might not be obvious to everyone. You got to get your varnish game on lock. And I recommend Testors, Model Masters, Lusterless Flat. This is the best in the biz. Here are the 3 colors we're going to be using. These are super good, and we'll be diving into them as the video goes on. And we're going to start off with Meridia's Blue from P3 Formula. We're going to actually begin with a paintbrush. This is kind of an ancient Chinese trick that not a lot of people know about. They're all obsessed with taping off the model, doing all these coats of airbrush, and it's like, yo, you can do a lot by just doing a thin coat of your first color on the weapon with a paintbrush. And then just working the fades into that color. I'm telling you, I've done it a million times. This is how you want to start your effect. You don't want to be thick, obviously. You want to do a couple thin coats like we do. So there it is. Nice, clean Meridia's Blue. It's already a great color. I mean, look at that color. These P3 formula paints are amazing. Meridia's Blue and Arcane Blue just work together perfectly, almost like they were designed to. So now what we're going to do is we're going to mix Meridia's Blue, Arcane Blue together, use our flow improver, and we're going to put a real subtle fade down on the tip of this weapon. We're not taping anything off. We're just being careful. We're going to tape something off later, but we're not there yet. And the trick is to be subtle with your transitions. Now we're going to pure Arcane Blue with Flow Improver, and we're going to highlight what we just did. So you can see we used the mix of the 2 colors as kind of a leapfrog to the pure Arcane Blue. And now we have a nice, subtle, incredibly smooth transition. Here's where it gets amazing. Add white to the Arcane Blue, and then begin to really pop that weapon out. And you want to be subtle, you want to work the double action trigger, you want to use more air than paint, and you just want to bring it in real subtle. You want to pop it toward the edge there, you want to keep it bright, you want it to be exciting. And next, we're going pure white, and this is where you're going to finally make that actual tip glow on that power sword. Just real subtle, bring it in. Pop it. You don't want to undo all the blues you just did. You want all the blues of the spectrum to show here. And that's a great power sword. Most people would be happy with that, but we're not. This is next level painting. So grab your Meridia's Blue back out on your paintbrush and carefully wipe out the bottom half of this blade. Now you could do this with an airbrush if you want, but like I said before, man, like I don't feel like I need to tape things off that I can easily do by hand. And this is one of them. So step 1, just carefully paint this up. It's not hard. I mean, a lot of people get nervous about it, but it's like, dog, we paint miniatures. Tell me you can't paint a straight line when the line's already figured out for you? Yes, you can. Just focus, practice, and try. This is literally what it's all about. It's all about just working out your hobby muscles every day. Now, here's a very important step. Seal coat this sword. As a matter of fact, seal coat the whole model. Once you've given it a couple of hours to dry, work on something else, come back to it, this is where we're going to use our tape. And I actually like using clear packing tape. Like, use the cheapest clear packing tape in the business. It's more rigid. It sticks really well. And we're going to cinch it down here with our little scraping tool. And I can actually see if I'm lined up because the tape is transparent. It's not like a masking tape that you can't see through. So you might make your line, skewed. I can see that my line is perfectly straight. And now we're going to repeat all the steps that we previously did, but in reverse. And see, I'm not even taping off the model here. I got a little piece of foam, a little piece of cardboard, and I'm just holding it. And I'm just making sure that my paint doesn't get all over his hand, which is actually pretty easy to do with an Iwata Eclipse. And I am blocking his leg off with that piece of cardboard. Now let's go back to our arcane blue. Same steps as before. Transition the arcane blue into the mix of Meridius blue and arcane blue. Always use your flow improver, and never forget, you always have to keep the tip clean on your airbrush. We got many videos on airbrush maintenance and airbrush hacks. I'm going to be a little bit more subtle though here on the crossfade. Now we're back up to the white mix with arcane blue step, and I'm going to be more subtle than I was on the top of the blade because I want the focal point to be that curved hook blade. And I'm just going to be real subtle here. I'm not going to go insane mode. I want the cross effect to exist, but I don't want to take away from what's happening up top. And there is more than one way to do a crossfade. You can do 3 stages of white instead of just 1 on each side. But we're just doing the simplified version here of the back and forth. Now with the white, I'm actually just going to focus on those 2 little spikes above the hilt. I'm not going to undo anything. I'm just going to give them a little bit of a gleam there and call it quits. There it is. That simple. Now we get to pull off this piece of tape. Using my trusty tweezers. Pull it off real slow. You don't want to pull up any paint, and you can see we didn't pull up any paint, and we have a nice straight line and an incredibly cool gleaming effect. That's a great looking power sword. You can come in, highlight the edges as much as you want. You can do anything you want beyond this point. I'm going to show you what it looks like once we paint the hilt up. We're going to pull out a classic amazing gold, Vallejo Air Gold. And we're going to paint up the grip and everything on this sword. I really just want you to see what the blade looks like with some of these details cut in, so it's not just, overspraying all over his hand and his hilt and everything. And I can't say enough good things about the Vallejo Air Gold. It is a very easy color to paint. You got to shake it up real good. You got to keep it in high maintenance because sometimes it does get gritty. You kind of want to use it when you have it. If you leave it on your shelf too long, it might be a problem. Now we're going to grab some quick Cavalry Brown. This is a model color. This is a great brown. And I'm just going to paint that little piece of the grip that's poking out on his sword. Just real quick with that Cavalry Brown. Not going to overthink it. It's a great color. I use it all the time, I tell you. These Vallejo game colors are amazing. And once you're done with this, we're going to just simply highlight it. We're going to go back in with another great color from Game Color. This is Orange Brown. This is an amazing color. And we're just gonna, get it on our brush, maybe mix it in a little bit with the Cavalry Brown and just real quick drop some highlights off. Download a couple highlights and there it is. All day, every day. We just did a power sword, guys. Thanks for watching this video. If you like these tutorials, check out Next Level Painting on Patreon. Become a patron of the arts today. We offer early and exclusive access to our videos and a rewards program for different pledge levels. Patreon is PayPal and credit card secure, so you don't have to worry about that. We use 100% of the money to improve our process.